Hi everyone, welcome back to DeFi Daily. Today I want to start to talk about the liquidity war. This is probably the most important topic into the whole DeFi ecosystem that is happening right now, and it will be, yes, a breakthrough for the whole DeFi ecosystem. I will say it in advance so you are prepared to what we will talk into this video, but also in many others, because this will be a series, because as you will understand, the topic is wide. And this is not about speculation, it's not about easy money, it's more about understanding what's going on into this industry and in which way it is headed. And it's really like building the fundamentals to understand if a protocol could be successful or not, if it is adding some value and for which reason. So if you're just looking for speculation, sorry, this is not the best video for you. You will find plenty of other videos also in my channel that are just talking about the last opportunity. But in this case, it's more educational, just about on what's going on into this industry. Today it will be a first introduction to the topic, and I will share with you the problem and also all the major players that are playing a role into this battle. So you can just start to look at them and understand for which reason they are good or not. I will also ask to you guys, if you have any kind of question, feel free to write me into the comments below, so you can also help me to understand what is your level of preparation about this topic in order to adapt all the storytelling and go maybe deeper inside a certain part or deeper inside another one. So you are also helping me to understand in which way I have to go in order to help you to understand the whole liquidity war. So let's start with the problem. The problem is the same that we have been with Olympus DAO. And what is it? Into the DeFi space, we have many protocols, yield farming, auto compounders, and so on. The problem with any kind of DeFi protocol is that in order to offer any kind of service, they need liquidity. Liquidity is needed to create pairs. For example, if you want to swap, let's say Ethereum with something else, you need both of the tokens. If you want to swap Ethereum with a dollar, you need a stablecoin, and so on. The problem is that in order to do anything, you need liquidity into the protocol. But the point is that right now, or at least until a couple of months ago, most of the liquidity were just into the hands of users. So users like you and me and so on. And we had the liquidity and we have to choose where to put our liquidity. The point is that in the moment when we were adding liquidity to some kind of protocol, the only reason why we were doing it was just to speculate, because we were looking for some kind of yield. And all of this situation brought the protocols in a really weak position, because until they were able to offer some kind of high incentive, people were just adding liquidity to the protocol. In the moment when incentives were going down, and they could go down for two main reasons, because the protocol has ended, so it has no anymore enough tokens to distribute, or for the simple reason that due to inflation, the price and the selling pressure at a certain point will go higher and the price will dump. And in that moment, what will happen is quite easy. All the users like you and me, seeing that the rewards are going down, we were simply moving our liquidity to some other protocol that were offering a higher APY. So Olympus DAO has introduced the protocol on liquidity. This is something that all of us are knowing. You are using a DAO, you are just buying a bond, so the protocol is owning right now the liquidity, and you are owning a token that is representing a share of the DAO. You can stake it and you can start earning more rewards. But that's not the whole point, because in this way it's just creating another inflationary system. What really has changed the whole industry and has been the first breakthrough is Curve. I don't know if you are aware into the way Curve is working, but has changed completely the whole story. Curve is the biggest player when we are talking about liquidity, has like 20 billion inside the protocol. And the way Curve has changed the story is that telling to the protocols, guys, you can use me, so like liquidity as a service. Instead of asking people to add liquidity to your protocol, ask to the people to come into Curve and add liquidity. I will manage the liquidity and I will pay rewards to the people who are adding liquidity to your pool. And instead, what you can do in order to push the liquidity into your pool is just buying the Curve token and acquiring the voting power, because with your voting power you are able to choose which pool among all the pools that are inside the Curve platforms will receive the highest reward. So the game has changed. Now, instead of just adding liquidity to the protocol, so your own protocols will ask the user to add liquidity on Curve. So in this way, they will not have anymore to use their own token to pay rewards. And so the value of the token of the protocol will be higher because the inflation will be lower. At the same time, the price of the Curve token will increase because at the same time also the protocols will have an incentive to own the Curve token in order to vote and to push, to boost the APY, APR of their own pool. Let's say that I have a protocol. I'm asking to the users to add liquidity to Curve, and in order to offer to my users inside the Curve protocol the highest APR possible, because the story has always the same. People will add liquidity to my pool into Curve only if the APR on Curve is a decent APR. And in order to boost that APR, I, as a protocol, will buy more Curve tokens in order to use my voting power of this kind of tokens to boost the rewards of my pools and not some other one. So what happened? Right now I will not go deeper, we will talk more about the whole Curve story, because if from one side we can talk about liquidity war, on the other side we can even talk about all the Curve wars, because what happened due to this kind of dynamic that different other protocols has started to create another layer on it in order to exploit this kind of situation. The first one to do it has been Yearn Finance, that has a certain voting power, so a decent voting power on Curve. Another player that has been able to go even beyond on it has been Convex. But the whole story hasn't ended here, because we have also another third level that is Redacted. Probably you know about Redacted because it is another DAO that is also offering bonding and staking. But the whole story about Redacted is not just about building a treasury just for fun or being another incubator. It's just working into the liquidity world. Redacted wants to play a really important role into the liquidity world. And I will show you also another platform that they are investing that is also a demonstration on what is going on. But the story hasn't ended this way, because what happened? Due to the fact that the whole story in Curve is owning the voting power in order to boost your pools, what happened is that new platforms like, for example, Votium has came out. Votium is just like a platform where you can sell your voting power. So instead of having to buy the whole token, you can just buy the voting power. So the people who are holding the token are at the same time receiving rewards from the staking rewards from Curve, receiving rewards from the people that are buying their voting power, and also because they are holding the token, being exposed to the volatility of the token, hoping that the price will go higher. As you can see, it is really a structured way that is really benefiting everyone. And this is just the beginning, because this kind of trend is going beyond. And as you can see also, Saber, for example, Saber is another like a Curve platform, but just on Solana. Also, Saber has just started to build a certain kind of mechanism that is copying what is going on Curve. Don't worry right now if you are thinking, oh my god, what's going on? I lost you since the first step. Don't worry. What I want to share with you today is just who are the players. In a second video, I will go through each of them in order to explain you why and which role each of them is playing into the liquidity war, because it is really a wide topic and we have to go a step by step. So don't worry if something is unclear. What I really care right now is to you to understand that we have a problem with liquidity and many different players are starting to play to this battle. The main one is Curve, and on top of Curve, because in this case we are talking about Curve wars, we have Yearn Finance, Convex, Redacted, and also other platforms like Votium that are just focused on the voting power. So giving you the possibility to, instead of selling the token, just selling the voting power. This kind of dynamic is something that many other platforms are just starting to implement. For example, we have seen on Saber, but also another protocol like Scream are just trying to introduce something like that. And if you're wondering how they are trying to introduce, the first step is introducing like a locking system, because in order to increase your voting power, for example on Cure, you have to lock your tokens, for example, for 3-4 years and so on. So this is also a way to keep higher the price of Cure, and that's one of the reasons why if you try to have a look, for example, to the price of Curve or Convex, the price of them in the last couple of months has increased, even if the price of Bitcoin has been quite steady or even bleeding. But the story hasn't come yet to an end, because there is another big player that, at least in my opinion, could be even a bigger player, and I'm talking about Tokemak. Tokemak is another service that is exactly like a liquidity as a service, because what they are saying to the protocols, to the users, instead to go to a single protocol and give them liquidity, you can come to my protocol and just deposit the liquidity, and we will deliver the liquidity where it is needed. Tokemak is a much more and broader project. It is just at a beginning stage. I will do a dedicated video to this project because it is quite a complex project. This is also one of the reasons why we haven't seen many people talking about this project, because it's not so easy to talk and to analyze the whole story. I will do a video later on. If you have any kind of question, feel free to ask into the comment section below, so in order to help me to adapt all the analysis on it. But what is really interesting, do you remember that a couple of moments ago, in the moment when we were talking about Redacted, I anticipated that they will play an important role into this story, because as you can see from this announcement, Redacted cartel, and as you can see also from the word cartel, the whole story is that they understood that it's like a cartel what is going on. It is really a battle between different cartels in order to have the power to control the liquidity and to have an advantage for all the protocols that are part of this cartel. And what they are doing is acquiring Votemak, that is exactly as Votium, that is working for the Curve wars. In this case, Votemak, it will be a system that will enable users that are owning the token, that is the token of Tokemak, just to go to Votemak and selling their voting power, in order to give the possibility to the protocols or people who has interest to focus the liquidity from Tokemak to a certain protocol, to buy the voting power and to use it in order to move, for example, liquidity from Tokemak to SushiSwap instead of, for example, Uniswap. I'm just giving you 2 examples, but it can be in any kind of situation. So this is what is going on, and there is also another step. I will just share it quickly. You know that I told you a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of days ago, about Andre Cronje and Daniele Sesta, that they are working together in order to build a new protocol that will be focused on just offering liquidity to protocols. Is a protocol that has been built for protocols. As you can see also from this announcement, I will leave also the link of his Medium account, because here you can find 2 to 3, 4 articles that are talking about this project that right now is called V33, but the name could be Solid or something like that. We still don't know what will be the name, but the whole story is this, as you can see here: building a protocol for protocols. This is also the reason why the airdrop will not be done to users, so it's not anymore to end users, but the airdrop will be for protocols. And what they have said is that the first 20 protocols into the Phantom ecosystem will receive an airdrop from this protocol. Again, I will go deeper inside this project also in another video. Right now, what I was really caring about is sharing with you a couple of different major players into this war. And again, if you know also some other player, if you know some other protocol that is working into this direction, or it is introducing some new other great dynamic, just share it into the comments below, because I'm really craving to know more about this whole story, because as I told you, all the liquidity war will be a big trend for the whole year, because solving this problem about liquidity, it is really a key in the moment when we are looking for a more solid DeFi ecosystem. DAOs, Yearn Finance forks, yield farming. Yes, it's everything nice, but in the moment when we will be able to solve this problem, everything will change, and we will be able to start building another layer and another layer on top of it into the DeFi, offering us even higher opportunities. Guys, let me know what do you think about it, and remember, if you like this kind of content, the best way to sustain me is always leaving a big thumbs up, drop a comment, and I will see you again tomorrow with another video, and in the next couple of days, we're continuing also with this series. Let me know. Bye, guys.